In the bustling streets of New York City, imagine starting your day in a high-pressure work environment where every interaction feels like a test of your patience and resilience. You find yourself dealing with a boss whose narcissistic tendencies drain your energy and undermine your confidence. As you navigate the demands of your job, you may feel overwhelmed by the chaos and emotional turmoil that often accompany such challenging relationships. But what if I told you that there exists a powerful tool rooted in ancient philosophy that can help you reclaim your peace of mind? Stoicism, an ancient school of thought, offers profound insights into how we can manage our responses to external pressures, particularly when confronted by difficult individuals. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the foremost Stoic philosophers, poignantly stated, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." This simple yet profound truth serves as a foundational principle of Stoicism, reminding us that while we may not control the actions of others, we have complete authority over our reactions and emotions. In today's fast-paced world, where interactions can often feel like a battlefield, embracing Stoic wisdom can transform the way we approach these challenges. Instead of allowing a narcissist's behavior to dictate our emotional state, we can cultivate a mindset of resilience and tranquility. Picture yourself as a busy professional in Los Angeles, grappling with a colleague whose need for attention and validation seems unending. By applying Stoic principles, you can learn to minimize the impact of this individual's actions on your mental well-being. Seneca, another key figure in Stoicism, once remarked, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." This insight highlights the tendency to amplify our fears and anxieties about how a narcissist might behave, often creating additional suffering in our minds. By recognizing this pattern, we can begin to differentiate between the actual impact of their actions and the unnecessary distress we create by worrying about their potential reactions. This shift in perspective allows us to focus on the present moment rather than becoming entangled in worst-case scenarios. As we delve deeper into the teachings of Stoicism, we will explore practical strategies to help you reclaim your mental space. Imagine carrying a heavy backpack filled with stones, each representing a negative interaction or hurtful comment from the narcissist in your life. Stoicism teaches us that we have the power to stop adding rocks to this burden. By consciously choosing to redirect our thoughts and energies toward uplifting experiences and relationships, we can lighten our load and foster a more peaceful existence. This journey is not about suppressing your feelings or denying the emotional toll that narcissistic behavior can take. Instead, it involves acknowledging your emotions, understanding their origins, and making rational decisions about how to proceed. It's perfectly natural to feel hurt or frustrated, especially when the narcissist plays a significant role in your life, be it as a family member, partner, or colleague. However, Stoicism empowers us to create healthy boundaries and prioritize our well-being over toxic influences. So, as we embark on this exploration of Stoicism and its application to modern life, remember that you are not alone. The principles of Stoicism are here to guide you in navigating the complexities of human relationships, allowing you to cultivate resilience and serenity amidst the chaos. With this ancient wisdom as your ally, you can learn to thrive in the face of adversity, reclaim your peace of mind, and embrace the journey of personal growth. 1. Cultivating indifference, minimizing the narcissist's impact. Dealing with a narcissist can feel like walking a tightrope where one misstep could lead to an emotional fall. These individuals often thrive on manipulation, criticism, and attention-seeking behaviors that can leave you feeling drained and defeated. However, by harnessing the power of Stoicism, you can cultivate a sense of indifference that minimizes their impact on your life. This is not about becoming cold or unfeeling. Rather, it's about protecting your emotional well-being by learning how to respond wisely to their provocations. One of the core teachings of Stoicism is the concept of focusing on what is within our control. As Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." In the context of dealing with a narcissist, this principle is crucial. You cannot change their behavior, but you can change how you react to it. By shifting your focus away from their actions and toward your own responses, you reclaim your power. Consider the example of a New York City professional named Emily who works in a high-pressure environment with a narcissistic manager. Emily often finds herself on the receiving end of her manager's unpredictable outbursts and unrealistic demands. Initially, she felt overwhelmed and anxious, constantly worrying about how to please her boss. However, by adopting a Stoic mindset, Emily began to recognize that her anxiety stemmed from her desire to control the uncontrollable, her boss's behavior. After reflecting on her situation, Emily decided to implement some Stoic strategies. First, she began to set clear boundaries regarding her work hours and availability. By doing this, she reduced the time her manager could impose their demands on her. She also started to practice mindfulness, taking moments throughout her day to breathe deeply and center herself before responding to her boss's requests. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have the power to revitalize yourself whenever you want. You can choose to focus on the good. By prioritizing her mental health and cultivating a sense of indifference toward her manager's whims, Emily discovered a newfound sense of freedom. She realized that she no longer needed to internalize her manager's negativity. Instead, she could choose to focus on her own work, celebrating her achievements and the positive relationships she had with her colleagues. Another essential aspect of minimizing the impact of a narcissist involves understanding the emotional toll their behavior can take. Seneca's insight, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality," reminds us that our fears and anxieties can amplify our suffering. When faced with a narcissist, it's easy to become consumed by worst-case scenarios. You might find yourself imagining how they will react to your boundaries or fearing their retaliation. However, this mental rumination often leads to unnecessary stress. To combat this, it's helpful to practice cognitive reframing, a technique that involves altering your perspective on a situation. Instead of viewing a narcissist's criticism as a personal attack, consider it a reflection of their insecurities. This shift in perception can lighten the emotional burden you carry. For instance, if a narcissistic family member belittles your achievements during a holiday gathering, remind yourself that their comments stem from their need for validation, not your worth. Visualize a Chicago woman named Lisa who struggles with a narcissistic sibling who constantly undermines her accomplishments. Each holiday, Lisa would leave family gatherings feeling deflated and frustrated. However, after learning about Stoic principles, she decided to reframe her perspective. Instead of allowing her siblings' comments to affect her self-esteem, she began to view these interactions as opportunities for personal growth. Lisa learned to respond with grace, acknowledging her siblings' feelings without internalizing their negativity. She found that by focusing on her successes and surrounding herself with supportive friends, she could minimize her siblings' impact on her life. Creating emotional and physical boundaries is another crucial step in minimizing a narcissist's role in your life. Stoicism teaches us that while we cannot control others, we can control our environments and the relationships we choose to maintain. This might mean limiting interactions with toxic individuals, changing the nature of your conversations, or, in some cases, severing ties altogether. Remember the case of a San Francisco tech worker named Daniel, whose close friend exhibited narcissistic behavior. Daniel realized that every time they met, he left feeling drained and anxious. By adopting a Stoic perspective, Daniel decided to set boundaries around their friendship. He limited their meetings to once a month and made it clear that certain topics, like his career successes, were off limits. This decision was not easy, but it ultimately helped him reclaim his mental space. As you work on minimizing the impact of narcissists in your life, it's essential to acknowledge the emotional toll this process may take. Stoicism does not advocate for suppressing feelings, rather, it encourages us to understand and process them. If you're dealing with a narcissistic parent or partner, it's natural to grieve the loss of the supportive relationship you desire. Recognizing this emotional journey is vital to healing. In embracing Stoic principles, you can focus on building your inner citadel, a concept that refers to your inner sanctuary of peace and resilience. By minimizing the narcissist's role in your life, you prioritize your mental health and emotional well-being. It's about making a conscious choice to protect your peace of mind. As Marcus Aurelius wisely noted, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. To further bolster your emotional resilience, consider engaging in practices that uplift and inspire you. This might include pursuing hobbies, spending time with supportive friends, or even seeking therapy to process your experiences. These actions not only help you regain your sense of self, but also reinforce the Stoic belief that we have the power to shape our lives. As we conclude this exploration of cultivating indifference, remember that you have the ability to minimize the impact of narcissists in your life. By focusing on your reactions, setting boundaries, reframing negative interactions, and investing in your emotional well-being, you can reclaim your peace and resilience. The journey toward inner strength is not without its challenges, but with Stoicism as your guide, you can navigate the complexities of human relationships with grace and wisdom. 2. Seeking truth, challenging the narcissist's facade. Narcissists are often skilled at constructing elaborate facades that project an image of superiority, charm, and confidence. This facade serves to protect their vulnerabilities and insecurities, creating an illusion that can be difficult to penetrate. However, by applying Stoic principles, you can learn to challenge these illusions and engage with the underlying truths of these individuals' behaviors. This process is not about confrontation. Rather, it is an exercise in seeking clarity and maintaining your emotional equilibrium. At the heart of Stoicism lies the distinction between what is within our control and what is not. As Epictetus reminds us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. When dealing with a narcissist, your reaction to their behavior is crucial. Instead of becoming entangled in their drama, you have the power to choose how you perceive their actions. This awareness allows you to maintain your inner peace and reduces the narcissist's influence over your emotional state. Let's consider the example of a marketing executive named Sarah, who often finds herself in meetings with a colleague known for their narcissistic tendencies. This colleague frequently dominates discussions, boasting about their achievements and belittling others' contributions. Initially, Sarah felt frustrated and helpless, believing she could not change her colleague's behavior. However, after reflecting on Stoic teachings, she decided to shift her approach. Instead of directly confronting her colleague, Sarah began to practice a form of detached curiosity. When her colleague made exaggerated claims, she would respond with questions like, "That's interesting. Can you tell me more about how you achieved that?" This approach served two purposes. First, it allowed Sarah to engage without becoming defensive or reactive. Second, it encouraged her colleague to reflect on their statements, subtly inviting them to question their own narratives. As Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. By maintaining her composure, Sarah was able to protect her emotional space while gently challenging the facade. This method of questioning aligns with the Stoic practice of prosoche or attentive awareness. By remaining present and mindful during interactions with narcissists, you can navigate their manipulative behaviors with grace. Instead of reacting impulsively to provocations, you can respond thoughtfully, keeping your focus on the truth rather than getting caught up in their drama. Imagine another scenario involving a Chicago-based artist named Mark who often feels overshadowed by a narcissistic friend who constantly seeks the spotlight. Every time they meet, this friend boasts about their latest successes, leaving Mark feeling small and unappreciated. To combat this dynamic, Mark decided to adopt a Stoic mindset. He focused on understanding that his friend's need for validation was not a reflection of his worth. When subjected to his friend's grandstanding, Mark began to respond with calmness and curiosity. Instead of feeling defensive, he would ask, "What inspired you to take that direction in your art?" This question not only redirected the conversation but also prompted his friend to reflect on their motivations. By practicing this technique, Mark found that he could disengage from the emotional turmoil caused by his friend while still fostering a meaningful dialogue. Challenging the idealized self-image of a narcissist requires a delicate balance. It is not about tearing down their facade but rather peeling back the layers to reveal the truth beneath. Seneca wisely stated, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have." This quote serves as a reminder that, while we cannot force a narcissist to change, we can choose how we perceive and react to their behavior. Moreover, it's essential to remember that narcissists often thrive on attention and conflict. By maintaining your emotional equilibrium and engaging with them from a place of curiosity rather than confrontation, you reduce their power over you. This aligns with the Stoic virtue of temperance, which encourages us to exercise self-control and moderation in our responses. Let's return to Sarah's experience. Over time, she noticed that her colleague became less dominating in meetings when she engaged with them in this manner. By refusing to react defensively, Sarah effectively disarmed the narcissist's need for validation through conflict. Instead of feeding into their drama, she created an environment where genuine dialogue could occur. This not only benefited Sarah but also fostered a healthier workplace dynamic. However, it's crucial to approach this strategy with caution. While seeking truth through questioning can be effective, it's essential to prioritize your safety and well-being. If a narcissist becomes aggressive or manipulative in response to your inquiries, it's vital to recognize when to disengage. Stoicism teaches us the importance of discernment, knowing when to engage and when to withdraw. As Epictetus advised, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In confronting the facade of a narcissist, you may also encounter resistance or hostility. It's important to remain steadfast in your commitment to seeking truth. This journey of self-awareness and emotional growth is not always easy, but it is essential for reclaiming your power. By focusing on your internal landscape and maintaining a stoic perspective, you can navigate these challenging interactions with grace. Engaging in self-reflection is another crucial aspect of this process. Regularly assess your feelings and reactions when dealing with narcissists. Journaling can be a powerful tool in this regard, allowing you to explore your thoughts and emotions without judgment. As Marcus Aurelius suggested, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. By examining your mindset and the narratives you tell yourself, you can cultivate a more resilient and empowered perspective. Finally, remember that challenging a narcissist's facade is not about changing them. It's about changing your relationship to their behavior. By understanding their motivations and maintaining a stoic mindset, you can protect your emotional well-being while encouraging them to reflect on their actions. This journey may not yield immediate results, but with patience and perseverance, you can create a more harmonious dynamic, one that prioritizes your peace of mind. In conclusion, embracing Stoic principles allows you to challenge the idealized self of a narcissist without losing your emotional center. By practicing mindful questioning, reframing your perceptions, and prioritizing self-reflection, you can navigate these complex relationships with grace. Remember, it is not your job to change the narcissist. 3. The path to self-discovery, growth through therapy. In navigating the complex terrain of relationships with narcissists, it is essential to recognize the importance of self-discovery and personal growth. Therapy serves as a valuable tool in this journey, providing a safe space for introspection and healing. The Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on self-awareness and virtue, complements therapeutic practices, allowing individuals to reclaim their sense of self and cultivate resilience in the face of adversity. As we delve into the therapeutic journey, it is crucial to remember the words of Seneca: "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have." This quote reminds us that while we may not be able to change the narcissistic individuals in our lives, we do have the power to change our responses and perceptions. Therapy becomes a sanctuary for this transformation, allowing us to explore our feelings, confront our beliefs, and ultimately redefine our relationship with ourselves. Consider the case of Jessica, a young woman living in Seattle who has spent years grappling with the emotional fallout of her relationship with a narcissistic partner. Initially, Jessica felt trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and anxiety, constantly questioning her worth based on her partner's fluctuating approval. After a particularly tumultuous argument, she decided to seek therapy, hoping to find clarity and direction. In therapy, Jessica learned to confront the beliefs that had tethered her to her partner's toxic behavior. Through guided discussions, her therapist helped her recognize the patterns of manipulation and control that had become normalized in her relationship. This process of self-examination aligns with the Stoic practice of reflection, where individuals take time to assess their thoughts and actions critically. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. By challenging her negative self-perceptions, Jessica began to reshape her inner dialogue. One of the key benefits of therapy is the opportunity to explore the emotional toll of narcissistic relationships. Often, individuals may downplay their feelings, believing they should simply tough it out. However, Stoicism teaches us that acknowledging our emotions is a vital step toward healing. As Seneca noted, we are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Therapy provides a safe haven to express these fears and anxieties, allowing individuals to process their experiences without judgment. During her sessions, Jessica learned to articulate her feelings of hurt and betrayal, recognizing that these emotions were valid and deserving of attention. Her therapist encouraged her to embrace her vulnerability as a source of strength rather than weakness. This perspective aligns with the Stoic virtue of courage, which emphasizes the importance of facing our fears and embracing discomfort in pursuit of growth. As Jessica progressed in her therapy, she began to establish healthier boundaries in her relationship. She learned to communicate her needs assertively, understanding that her self-worth was not contingent upon her partner's validation. This newfound clarity empowered her to make decisions that prioritized her well-being, aligning with the Stoic principle of living in accordance with virtue. Let's consider another example, a middle-aged man named Tom who has struggled with the emotional scars left by a narcissistic parent throughout his life. Growing up, Tom felt overshadowed by his parents' need for constant admiration and validation. As an adult, he found it challenging to form meaningful relationships, often feeling unworthy of love and acceptance. Recognizing the impact of his upbringing, Tom sought therapy to address these deep-seated issues. In therapy, Tom engaged in a process of self-discovery that allowed him to confront the beliefs instilled in him during childhood. He explored how his parents' behavior had influenced his self-esteem and relationships. This journey of reflection is essential in Stoicism, where self-awareness is crucial for personal growth. As Epictetus stated, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. By acknowledging the emotional wounds inflicted by his parent, Tom began to redefine his relationship with himself, shifting from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. Therapy also provided Tom with tools to build resilience and cope with the lingering effects of his upbringing. Through cognitive behavioral techniques, he learned to challenge negative thought patterns and replace them with more empowering beliefs. This process is reminiscent of the Stoic practice of cognitive reframing, which encourages individuals to view challenges as opportunities for growth. By reframing his narrative, Tom discovered that he could break free from the cycle of seeking validation from others. As Tom continued his therapeutic journey, he began to prioritize self-compassion. He learned that it was acceptable to acknowledge his pain while also recognizing his inherent worth. This balance aligns with the Stoic principle of temperance, which advocates for moderation in all aspects of life, including self-criticism. By embracing self-compassion, Tom found solace in the understanding that healing is a process, not a destination. Furthermore, therapy can help individuals develop a strong support system, a vital component of resilience. In a world where narcissistic individuals may seek to isolate their victims, creating connections with others who understand your journey is essential. Engaging in supportive communities, whether through therapy groups or friendships, fosters a sense of belonging and validation. Jessica and Tom both discovered the importance of surrounding themselves with individuals who uplift and encourage them. Engaging with supportive friends allowed them to share their experiences and seek guidance from those who had faced similar challenges. As Marcus Aurelius wisely advised, friendship is the greatest gift of life. By cultivating meaningful connections, they fortified their emotional resilience and fostered a sense of community. In conclusion, the path to self-discovery through therapy is a transformative journey, particularly in the context of dealing with narcissistic relationships. By embracing the Stoic principles of self-awareness, courage, and temperance, individuals can reclaim their sense of self and cultivate resilience in the face of adversity. Therapy serves as a sanctuary for introspection, allowing individuals to confront their beliefs, process their emotions, and redefine their relationship with themselves. As you navigate your journey of healing, remember that it is not a linear path. Embrace the ups and downs and allow yourself the grace to grow and learn from your experiences. By prioritizing your well-being and engaging in self-discovery, you can break free from the grip of narcissistic individuals and embark on a journey of empowerment and fulfillment. 4. Mastering your inner fortress, protecting your mental space. In the face of narcissistic behavior, the ability to protect your mental space is paramount. Narcissists often attempt to provoke, manipulate, and unsettle those around them, which can leave individuals feeling vulnerable and overwhelmed. However, by mastering the art of emotional control and resilience through Stoic principles, you can create a protective inner fortress that shields you from their negative influence. At the heart of Stoicism lies the understanding that while we cannot control the actions of others, we have absolute power over our reactions and emotions. As Epictetus stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This principle is especially relevant when dealing with narcissists, whose behavior is often designed to provoke a response. By cultivating emotional detachment, you can maintain your inner peace and prevent their actions from affecting your mental state. Let's explore the journey of a young professional named Amanda, who works in a fast-paced corporate environment. Amanda has a narcissistic colleague who frequently undermines her contributions during team meetings. Initially, Amanda found herself reacting defensively, often feeling hurt and frustrated after these encounters. However, after reflecting on Stoic teachings, she decided to adopt a different approach. Instead of allowing her colleagues' comments to dictate her emotional state, Amanda began to practice mindfulness. She implemented a routine of daily meditation and journaling, which helped her cultivate awareness of her thoughts and feelings. As Marcus Aurelius advised, you have the power to revitalize yourself whenever you want. By engaging in these practices, Amanda learned to pause and reflect before responding to her colleague, choosing to maintain her composure in the face of provocation. One key aspect of mastering your inner fortress is recognizing your emotional triggers. Narcissists often know how to exploit vulnerabilities and provoke reactions. By identifying what specifically triggers your emotional responses, you can develop strategies to mitigate their impact. For instance, if Amanda noticed that her colleagues' interruptions triggered feelings of inadequacy, she made a conscious effort to prepare her responses in advance. This proactive approach allowed her to maintain her confidence and assertiveness during meetings. In a similar vein, let's consider the story of James, a tech entrepreneur dealing with a narcissistic investor who constantly belittles his ideas. Initially, James felt intimidated and insecure, fearing that he would lose funding if he challenged the investor's opinions. However, through therapy and Stoic reflection, he realized that he could choose how to respond to the investor's behavior. James began to practice emotional detachment by reframing his perspective. He recognized that the investor's need for control and validation was not a reflection of his worth as an entrepreneur. By reminding himself of his capabilities and the value of his ideas, he cultivated a sense of inner strength. As Seneca aptly put it, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By focusing on the reality of his skills and achievements, James was able to shield himself from the investor's negativity. Another effective strategy for protecting your mental space is to establish clear boundaries. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of setting limits to safeguard your well-being. This might involve limiting interactions with narcissistic individuals or clearly articulating your needs in conversations. When you establish boundaries, you assert control over your environment and create a buffer against potential emotional turmoil. For Amanda, setting boundaries meant communicating her ideas assertively during meetings. She learned to speak up confidently, ensuring her voice was heard without allowing her colleagues' interruptions to derail her contributions. By practicing this assertiveness, Amanda not only protected her mental space but also conveyed a sense of self-respect that disarmed her colleague. Consider the case of Mia, a schoolteacher who frequently encountered a narcissistic parent who demanded special treatment for their child. Initially, Mia felt overwhelmed by the parent's persistent complaints and unrealistic expectations. However, she recognized the importance of protecting her mental space by establishing firm boundaries. Mia communicated her policies clearly, explaining that all students were treated equally regardless of parental influence. By standing her ground, she minimized the parents' attempts to manipulate her and maintained her professional integrity. In addition to establishing boundaries, it is essential to practice self-compassion. Stoicism teaches us that acknowledging our feelings is a vital step toward healing. When faced with the emotional toll of narcissistic interactions, it's crucial to treat yourself with kindness and understanding. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, be tolerant with others and strict with yourself. By practicing self-compassion, you cultivate resilience and reinforce your inner fortress. Amanda found that taking time for self-care was instrumental in maintaining her emotional well-being. She engaged in activities that brought her joy, such as yoga, reading, and spending time with supportive friends. These practices allowed her to recharge and reaffirm her sense of self, reinforcing her ability to navigate challenging interactions with grace. Moreover, emotional resilience is bolstered by cultivating a growth mindset. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of viewing challenges as opportunities for growth. Instead of viewing encounters with narcissists as setbacks, reframe them as opportunities to strengthen your emotional fortitude. As Epictetus wisely noted, difficulties are things that show a person what they are. By embracing this mindset, you can transform adversity into a catalyst for personal development. James learned to adopt this growth mindset as he faced challenges with his narcissistic investor. Instead of seeing each encounter as a threat, he viewed them as opportunities to refine his ideas and enhance his negotiation skills. This perspective shift allowed him to approach discussions with confidence and clarity, ultimately leading to more productive interactions. Finally, cultivating a support network is vital for protecting your mental space. Surrounding yourself with individuals who uplift and support you creates a buffer against negativity. Engaging with friends, family, or support groups provides a safe space for sharing experiences and seeking guidance. As Marcus Aurelius stated, friendship is the greatest gift of life. By fostering these connections, you reinforce your emotional resilience and create a strong foundation for self-discovery. In conclusion, mastering your inner fortress is essential when dealing with narcissistic individuals. By focusing on your reactions, establishing boundaries, practicing self-compassion, and adopting a growth mindset, you can protect your mental space and cultivate emotional resilience. The journey toward emotional mastery is not without its challenges, but with Stoicism as your guide, you can navigate the complexities of human relationships with strength and grace. As you continue on this path, remember that you have the power to choose your responses and shape your emotional landscape. By prioritizing your well-being and practicing the teachings of Stoicism, you can create an inner fortress that shields you from the chaos of narcissistic behavior, allowing you to thrive in all aspects of your life. As we conclude our exploration of Stoic principles and their application in navigating the complexities of relationships with narcissistic individuals, it is essential to reflect on the transformative power of these teachings. Throughout this journey, we have learned that while we cannot control the behavior of others, we have absolute authority over how we respond. This fundamental insight lies at the heart of Stoicism and serves as a guiding principle for reclaiming our inner peace. The journey towards self-discovery and emotional resilience is not a linear path. It is filled with ups and downs, moments of clarity and confusion. However, by embracing the wisdom of Stoicism, you can cultivate a mindset that empowers you to navigate these challenges with grace. As Marcus Aurelius wisely stated, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This powerful perspective encourages us to view obstacles not as barriers but as opportunities for growth. Consider how the lessons we have explored can be integrated into your daily life. When faced with a narcissistic individual, remember the importance of setting clear boundaries and practicing emotional detachment. Like Amanda, who learned to respond mindfully to her colleagues' provocations, you too can cultivate a sense of calm and composure in the face of adversity. By prioritizing your mental space, you can reclaim your power and foster resilience. Moreover, as we discussed through the journeys of Jessica and Tom, therapy can be a profound catalyst for self-discovery. Engaging in therapeutic practices allows you to confront deep-seated beliefs, process your emotions, and redefine your relationship with yourself. Embrace the courage to seek help and support. It is a sign of strength, not weakness. Remember the Stoic principle that true strength lies in the ability to acknowledge your vulnerabilities and work through them. As you continue on this path, take inspiration from the Stoic practice of mindfulness. Daily reflection, meditation, and journaling can help you cultivate awareness of your thoughts and feelings. By regularly assessing your emotional landscape, you can reinforce your inner fortress and maintain a sense of tranquility amidst external chaos. As Seneca advised, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By staying present and focused on what you can control, you can break free from the cycle of anxiety and fear. In closing, I encourage you to embrace the principles of Stoicism as you navigate your relationships and personal challenges. The journey toward inner freedom is ongoing, and each step you take is a testament to your resilience and commitment to personal growth. Remember that you are not alone on this path. The wisdom of Stoicism is a powerful ally that can guide you toward a more fulfilling and peaceful life. If you found value in this exploration of Stoic philosophy and its practical applications, I invite you to subscribe to the Stoic Viva channel. By doing so, you'll gain access to a wealth of resources and insights that can further enhance your journey of self-discovery and empowerment. Don't forget to like and share this video with others who may benefit from these timeless teachings. Together, let's spread the wisdom of Stoicism and inspire others to cultivate their inner resilience. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Continue to seek truth, embrace your inner strength, and let the teachings of Stoicism illuminate your path. Until next time, remember, you have the power to choose your responses, cultivate peace, and thrive in the face of adversity.